Guess what we got, y'all? We got a new phone. First of all, let's see if I can get y'all in a better position so maybe you can see something. We got the iPhone 11 over here. I don't know. I'll fix it later, okay? I don't want to mess with it this morning. But I did want to jump on the way to work this morning. I have been following the case of Cash very closely. There hasn't been from law enforcement per se, but I have listened to back. I'm not sure. Are we back? Maybe we are. Anyways, I'm not going to have enough time this morning I really want to choose my words wisely. And listen, once again, here I am, right? I'm playing the devil's advocate. I would like to have a stream and give out links for others to come up and discuss this case. Now, here's my thing. I know, to me, watching different people, watching different streams, listening to what they say, I feel like the focus is not put on the person that took this child. Okay? That's how I feel personally. I feel like the attacks and the focus is being put on Monica and Dad. Okay? That's how I feel. The biological dad. I've heard people, say, I think it's weird that she called herself mom. I think it's weird she's, saying her kids. Listen, I don't think any of that's weird. And I don't, because those of you that know my story know I raised 3 kids that were not mine. Okay? It's a similar situation. Mom dipped out. Yeah, I said dipped out. She wasn't there for 3-4 years of these children's lives. Dad had an addiction problem, which y'all are aware of. To an extent, I am the only person these children have. So no, I don't find that weird at all. I think it's a very sad case. I think the police, if anything, failed these children. And that is what makes me so frustrated with our system. Because, let me tell you something. Even in my experience, okay, with domestic violence, if you, here in South Carolina, if you don't have physical bruises on you, marks where they could tell, you've been beat right then, they're not locking him up. They're not doing anything about it. So you have these reports of this kid reaping havoc on this neighborhood, right? And then we have this tragedy that's took place. This little baby's life has been taken from him. And I think the dad said it best when he says, when you go through this guilt, you're wanting to put the blame on somebody. You want to blame someone. And what stuck out the most to me in his statement that he released was he is going to have to pay that price for the rest of his life. I don't care what you think about him. You can judge him all you want to, okay? But I'll say this. As an addict, no one judges myself more harshly than I do. No one carries that guilt around more than I do. So, with that being said, he made the decision to leave those children in Monica's care, which he said he thought was making the best decision at that time. And now he's going to have to carry that guilt around that his baby lost his life because he made that decision to leave those baby in Monica's care. So, I mean, I can get, everybody's feelings. I can get it. But and this is something that I've had to realize with YouTube. This is something that YouTube made me realize. Not everyone lives the same life, okay? My quality of life is not the same as the next person's quality life. Or their lifestyle isn't the same as the next person's lifestyle, okay? It's just not. And you have to keep an open mind to that. I have seen where Monica has had prior drug charges. Yes, I've seen that. We've seen her record, right? But that was back in what, 2019? Let me say this. I don't know the details of that situation as to why she got those charges. I don't know who was with her when she got those charges. I don't know if she was a co-defendant. I have no idea. I don't know if Monica is on drugs. I don't know that to be a fact. I don't know it to be a fact that Monica was under the influence of drugs when baby Cash got abducted from that home. I don't know that. So if anybody has that to be fact, then I'd like to see it. I have not seen that yet. I've heard speculations. I've heard, oh, she looks high. My phone's acting crazy. I don't know if I'm back. I saw on Molly's last night where, excuse me, I can't remember her name, but the young lady that is in Texas that has went to the city council meeting. And they have said, she said last night that they said at this city council meeting that none of the family is going to be charged. They see no further charges being, taken out. Okay, then the conversation come up. This is how I feel. I don't feel... He didn't abandon his kids, okay? Like he said, he left them with Monica because that's where he felt they were the safest, okay? Obviously, he made the wrong decision, and baby Cash paid for his life with that. My question is, how long did this daddy have these little boys in his custody? Okay, that's my first question. I would like to know. The maternal grandmother has the two little girls. I heard conversations say it was too much for the grandmother to take care of all 4 of them. I get it. I totally get it. My grandma is older. She could not handle Haley and Hunter at the same time when they were younger. She would take them one at a time. So, do I see her, taking my kids from me? If something happened to me, my grandmother would not be physically able to take care of both of my children. She just couldn't do it. Now, if something happened, they would probably go to my aunt or my cousin. That's where my kids would go to, and that's always been known. Now, Haley's old enough now, she's an adult. But Hunter would go to my aunt or my cousin. I've heard talk of how her house looks. Okay? Let me tell you something. How my house looks does not depict how I take care of my children. It doesn't. It does not depict the quality of care that I give to my children based on what my house looks like. Sorry, not sorry. That's just a fact. Because you want to know what? I had 5 children. Yes, 5. 5 children in a 3-bedroom mobile home. Now, no, all 5 of them weren't mine, but it was a similar situation where mom could not take care of them. Dad was an addict. So I chose to care for the kids. And that's not I've done that twice. I have a niece and nephew that I basically raised too. So there's a lot of different dynamics, that went on. Now, it's been said that, and this is what I'm thinking, this child's 18 years old, okay? I'm wondering if this wasn't a gang initiation. That's not unusual. I'm wondering if that's why they're saying it was recorded. I'm wondering if there was someone, else with this other Dwayne that recorded it. And a lot of times these kids record, I know with Haley and Hunter at school, Snapchat is a big thing. That's what these kids use. They record stuff on Snapchat, fights and this and that. They're putting bomb threats on Snapchat. They're putting the shootings, warnings to shootings. Haley, twice last year, they couldn't go to school because of stuff on Snapchat that kids had posted. So that's what I'm wondering. Was this recorded on Snapchat? And was this some kind of gang initiation involvement? Is he associated with some kind of gang? I can't answer that question. I don't know those answers yet. But it's just a thought that I've thought about. As of right now, there's only 1 arrest, and he's been charged with B&E, breaking and entering, and trespassing. So if anything, I feel like the public needs to be upset with the Dallas Police Department, where these reports were made about this 18-year-old running amok in the neighborhood, which has now resulted in a baby's life being taken. Number 1. Next, who are you going to look at next? You're going to look at mama and daddy, right? Because that is your job as a mama and daddy, is to keep your babies safe. Mama, number 1, is how I feel. Mama gave birth to those babies, so it is my job, whether daddy steps out or not, for me to keep my baby safe. So I'm going to point the finger at Mama next, is who I'm going to. Mama, you had those babies. It's your job to keep them safe. Then next, I'm going to Daddy. That's just the way of the world, right? How many dads step out on their kids, but Mama's still supposed to step up? I've been Mama and Daddy, okay? Most of my kids' life, I've been Mama and Daddy. In a lot of other kids' lives, I've been Mama and Daddy because they didn't have that. And now this little baby, Carter, has to grow up without his brother. I felt so bad when you seen that next clip of that baby wake up the next morning. You can tell he's looking for his brother, like, where's my brother? No, we can't make sense of it because we aren't evil like that. It's never gonna make sense to us. Never. Nothing's that evil is ever going to make sense to me. Ever. Which I watched on one video where apparently Monica's windows are being busted out and people are taking it out on her. That she feels like her safety. And then I think about her kids, you know? What are they going through?
How can I help you?
Can I get a breakfast platter with cheese grits, please? With bacon?
A breakfast platter with cheese grits?
Yes.
Bacon?
And a sweet tea?
And it was bacon, sweetie?
Yes, ma'am.
A bacon platter. An egg platter with bacon, cheese grits, and a sweet tea.
That's it.
Okay, sweetie, come around, baby.
I don't know. I just been on this roller coaster of emotions since this, and I do that sometimes. There's some cases that I get like really, really, really interested and intrigued by, and some of them I don't. And this has just been one that
672.
I have. Can you add an order of fries, please?
Can you add an order of small fries with this
What if that happened to me? What if that happened to me while one of those babies were in my care? What if that was me? Thank you. And then I heard that which I need to go back and clarify this, that the reason Dad wasn't there was because he had left to go to court-ordered rehab. And that his part of the family, the paternal part of the family, was involved in the boys' life. So to be sure, they had to know where the boys were. I just think that is there butter in there?
Butter, salt, pepper,
Thank you. Sweet tea?
Oh, she ain't ready up for a sweet tea. What size you want it?
Medium's fine. Medium's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that if it hadn't have been Baby Cash, it would have been someone else. Due to the report, 3 days earlier, somebody reported a little girl, right? Wasn't it a little girl trying to be kidnapped? So I just feel like with this person, the reports that have been made on him and something wasn't done, this is the outcome. This was the result. And it's so freaking sad. And now I feel like all we can do is make sure that Baby Cash gets justice, right? And I know we can't wrap our heads around a murder of a baby. But it's because people are evil, okay? And you know who I would like to hear from that I haven't heard from? Is Dwayne's mom. Where's she at? Has she made a statement? Has she said anything? That's what I would like to hear. What kind of problems were going on in your child's life? What kind of activity was he involved in for him to do this? What kind of people was he hanging around? Because just normal people don't do this stuff, right? It's evil people. Evil. And I can't remember, I'm going to have to go back and look too, what the ages of Monica's other children are. I'm early. The ages of what her other kids are, which I know there's one of them that was older. Is it Cameron? He was older. But I do think that, I will say, I think Tiffany and Molly, and there's Tiffany, Molly, Chase and Truth. I did see Mandolin put some clips up. So there's a couple of them in our community that's really covering this case. And I think, though, you gotta pause for a minute. Just pause for just a second and put yourself, and that's what I've tried to do, okay? I've tried to stop for just a minute and put myself in Monica's shoes. How you doing? And listen, I'm sure Monica will never, oh, I just got a text, y'all. Hold on. We need more gloves. I'm going to grab them. Oh. She's not going to be able to forgive herself of that. If something happened to one of the kids that I took care of, okay? Listen, I had And when I do a panel, I'll talk more about that. There were 5 other kids that I took care of that were not mine. Okay? If something happened to one of those kids, or even my own, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself for that. But that is why I'm like so big on my older kids now, especially Haley, now that she's older. Her friends that she brings around. Even Hunter. Whose house are you going to? Who are you hanging out with? Who's their parents? You know, who are they hanging out with? I'm on Haley like, I want to know, okay? I want to know. I want to know all their family. I want to know, are they drinking? Are they doing drugs? What kind of drugs are they doing? All of that. And it's for that reason. Oh, I didn't even see these comments. Okay. Good morning, Miss Dorky. Yep, and the little girl was 3 houses down. Okay, Cameron is 18 and the other 2 were 14 and 12. Okay. But who's covering it? Chasing Truth. But Molly and Tiff have been doing a lot of work. After what happened last night with the Diane thing. Okay, what happened, Miss Dorky? I fell asleep last night, okay? I fell asleep after, I cannot think of her name. And if I wouldn't be trying to think of it, I would be able to remember her name. The one that is there in Dallas, that went to the memorial, that went to the city council meeting. When she went to the city council meeting and said there would be no further charges pressed, I fell asleep. So I don't know what happened after that. So forgive me for that. Tiffany and Molly have been putting a lot of work into it. And I think once you get like invested in something, you know what I mean? Alejandra. That is it. Thank you. Yes. And, you know, they were so beside themselves because they couldn't understand why, you know, who are you going to charge? Who do you want charged? They have the person that did it, Dwayne, okay? Which is good, right? That's who you want. But, once again, I feel like, and I know some people are not going to get this because I see that Molly and Tiffany are not understanding this. They want to hold Monica responsible for it because they're saying that a druggie. Once again, I don't know if she's a druggie. I can't say that. Yes, she has a prior record, but that doesn't tell me that she's doing drugs today. Guess what? I have a prior record. Okay? That doesn't say that I'm a druggie today. And when I was doing drugs, I never, ever put my kids in harm's way. That's one thing I never did. I never left my kids with anyone, and they were never in harm. Hold on, y'all. So, I mean, yeah, people say that she looked whacked out in the interview. Do you understand she just found out that little baby was murdered? I could imagine how the hell I looked. I probably looked like I was on meth when I found out that Haley's daddy was dead. Okay? And it wasn't even my child. So I could imagine how the hell I would look then. So I don't want to base that being fact that she's a meth addict. I can't do that. I can say that she's not so selfish to leave her kids. I can say that she's not so selfish to open up her house to other children. I can say that. She cared enough about them boys to let them in her own home. Okay, so after that, Wendy came on with the people that thought who were Diane, but her name is Dee, And she's a Zumba teacher, but this lady had people come after her. Oh. Oh, the one they made the video. I know what you're talking about. The one where that video was that people were looking up. I got you. See, I don't care anything about that. I don't. Y'all, we knew who Diane was years ago. We figured out who Diane was years ago when she come into the DC. So why people would be digging and thinking she's somebody else, I don't understand that. I really don't. I have no interest in that. I think the investigators know a lot more than what they're saying. I think they're just keeping it really hush hush right now. And so they had an 18-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 18, 14, 12, and two 4-year-olds in that house. So the other kids were older. And then you had the two little ones. That's probably why they were in that room, the big room by themselves. Because they were the smaller ones. And I get it. I mean, as he says, listen, I ain't gonna have time. I'm not even going into all that because I'm not gonna have time to. I'll do it one day when I'm, what's today? Tuesday? I'm off Thursday. Or I might try to do it tomorrow morning. I don't know. I just see where some people feel like Monica should be charged, but what do you want to charge with? She didn't kill that baby. Dwayne did. And I agree with you. They have the guy and Monica and her. Don't get me wrong, but she took the kids under her wing because the dad left. So that's the problem. Right, that's how I feel, Miss Dorky. I feel like she did the best she could with what she had, okay? That's how I feel. And I can't base the care that she gave those children on what her house looks like. I can't do that, okay? Apparently there's been no reports to CPS. There's been no involvement of them. The pictures that I've seen of these boys, they're happy, they're clean, they look healthy. They're well dressed, they have haircuts. So I can't base it on what her house looks like. A house it doesn't define on how I take care of my kids. I'm sorry. Nail me to the cross, okay? The amount of money I have. Okay, yes, we see that, she doesn't have a lot of money. Guess what? I was a single mom, okay? I didn't have a lot of money either. But that doesn't mean that I didn't take care of my kids or the other kids that I took care of. Doesn't mean that either. And now that I sit back and think about it, that could have happened. That could have been me. That could have been me. That could have been somebody broke into my home and hurt one of the babies that was in my care. And I had nothing to do with it. Nothing whatsoever. But all the fingers are pointing at me because they were in my home. But Dwayne did it. Now, if anything, I'm sure CPS has opened a full-blown investigation. I'm sure they've gone all through her house because of her other kids. And if she still has those kids, that tells me that she's okay, that she's an okay parent, right? That she passed her drug test, that she provides for them what she needs to. That's what that tells me. It may not be what you could provide for your child or what you see adequate and fit for your child or what means you have for your child, but it is by the guidelines set in that state of child protective services. And I think people need to take in accountability. There are other children in that home. And I understand people get passionate and they get angry and, this and that. But we have to make sure that that's going in the right direction, right? To the right person, which would be Dwayne. He did it. He killed that baby. He hurt that baby. So, I don't know. My heart just goes out to all of them. The dad. And I could just, oh man, when I heard him, I had to go back and listen to it like 3 times. And I don't know though. I mean, in a way, I want to blame him. First, I want to blame the mama. That's who I want to blame because that you had those babies. You're supposed to protect those babies even when daddy walks out, okay? Daddy steps out, mama bear's supposed to be there, right? So first, I want to shake her. What's wrong with you? Then, think about daddy. Well, obviously, daddy had an addiction problem and he was trying to get himself together. So he was going to quarter to rehab. And this is another thing I want to say. I did not take that he was being selfish from what he said. The only thing I took from it was that he wanted to say goodbye and put his baby to rest before he went to jail. That's what I took from it. That is just what I took from it. I took that people are outraged and angered and would rather see him in jail than him be able to say goodbye to that baby. And I get it. If I had to put myself in his shoes, I'm already having to live with the guilt and the anger of something happening to my child. But then I can't say goodbye to him either. So, yeah. That's all I would ask for. That's all I would want is let me put my little baby. You know what I mean? Let me bury my baby before you take me to jail. Then you can take me wherever you wanted to. Rehab, whatever it is. And that's what I took from his little thing that he read out. I didn't take what some people were saying from it. That's what I took from it. That's what I heard. That's the meaning and understanding that I took was, there's too many people wanting to see me go to jail. Please let me put my little baby to rest. Then I'll go to jail or wherever y'all want me to go. Dang, this camera is so much better than the last one. I'm so tired. All right, well, I got to go to work. I will do a panel on this later on this week. I'm going to see if Amber K will do one with me. I forgot my earrings this morning. I don't know. I guess it hit a little different for me because I've been in Monica's shoes. I've been in that situation. I've took care of other people's kids. And that would suck, man. That would really suck. Especially after they've done reported, you know, this kid running amok. But I'm wondering, there's a guy, what's his name, Benny? Is that his name, Benny? Benny has been to Monica's and taught with Monica. And I've also heard that Dwayne had an ankle monitor on. And you know what? I have a lot to say about that too. I have heard he had an ankle monitor on. Now, I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, whether he did. But let me tell you something. Chad had an ankle monitor on before he went to prison this last time. And those, I feel like the probation officer or whoever is over his little ankle monitor thing, they need to be responsible. They don't do their jobs. Me and that probation officer had it out at that courthouse in front of that judge. Because, like I told him, I'm doing your job for you. I'm having to call you and tell you that he's violating his probation, his ankle monitor, because you don't care. You're not doing your job. Had they been doing their job and this little notification, you know, goes off that this boy is, you know, out of the house at the times that he's not supposed to be, they don't care. They don't care. So I've had some personal experience with that too. And me and them have went round and round and round and round about that. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to go in here to work. I'll work my 12 hours. And then I will talk to y'all later, okay? Y'all have a good day. Don't be out there running amok. And be kind to each other. Bye, guys.